friends, have you guys ever heard of the expression, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade? Well, we've been dealt a bunch of lemons over the last couple weeks, and some of the greatest people that help us make our lemonade and sweeten up things when they're rough is our moms. And this weekend is Mother's Day. So I want to help put together a fun activity that you guys can use to make a Mother's Day card. So this lesson is super exciting for two reasons. Part one is an art lesson where we're going to design a card. Part two is a science lesson where we learn about how lemon juice can create invisible messages and how that happens and why. So you will need, for part one, a white sheet of paper, a pencil or marker, and something to color with. Since the illustration will be of lemons, you'll need a yellow and a green, and you might want a black marker just to outline. For part two is the science lesson. You're gonna need lemon juice. It can be fresh or concentrate. You're gonna need a Q-tip or a paintbrush, and you're also going to need, eventually you'll need a heat source, but I'll explain that later. Okay, so once you have your white sheet of paper, you could use computer paper or construction paper, but I just wouldn't make it too thick. And you can fold it in half to make your card. And if you want it a little bit smaller than this, I would fold it in half again. And then I'm going to actually, so this is it unfolded, right? So I'm actually going to cut this in half just to make it a little bit smaller. Okay, just like this. And then your cover is going to have your image on it, and then on the inside will be your secret message. A couple cute sayings that I like that kind of tie everything together with the lemons and your mom or a friend that you want to give this card to. So feel free to use your own sayings, or again, you don't have to do everything that I do in the video, but I'm going to draw a little bit in pencil first, and then I'm going to speed up the video and do some of the coloring and outlining in with you as well. Okay, so a lot of you know that I like to, I just tell everyone to write like normal, as if you were not trying to make things fancy. And then if you use marker, you're able to embellish the letters by thickening certain parts of it. When you're satisfied with your lettering, you can always erase your pencil lines underneath. That way they're not as noticeable. Just make sure that the marker dries first. And then I'm gonna put the lemons onto the front, which is gonna hint to our secret message later. So we're going to move on to the science part. So let's discuss the science behind invisible ink and why lemon juice can carry secret messages. Did you know that even George Washington's army used this method in order to tell secrets in the Revolutionary War? Can you guys see some of my secret messages on my card? So I did one all the way and I did one halfway, so that you can kind of see the difference. So the way that it works is that the lemon juice is made up of carbon-based compounds, which when applied to the surface of the paper at room temperature are kind of slightly colorless. You can see it a little bit on the surface, but the trick happens when you add heat to it. The heat tends to turn it brown through a process called oxidation, and that allows your mom or your friend, whoever you're choosing, to see your secret message at the end. Okay, so what you will need, you're going to need some lemon juice with water. Okay, just a little bit. I just cut half of a lemon when I did the art demo and just squeezed it in here and added a little bit of water to this. And then you can use either a Q-tip to write your secret message, or you can use a paintbrush. And you guys can choose your own secret message. Just make sure that it's relatively short because your paper is not that big. So my secret message is going to be, let me tell you, I love you so much. My friend's finished. Because I use Sharpie, I had put a separate barrier of sheet of paper in here just to protect where I wanted to write the message. If you're using water-based markers, I don't think it should bleed through, but if you want to be careful, you could do the same thing and just put an extra sheet of paper in. And then we're just going, again, make sure you have a little bit of water in your lemon juice just to dilute it so that it is more transparent when you put it onto your white sheet of paper. And we're just gonna add our message on. All my students, you are pretty much finished with your card at this point. The part where your message gets revealed to your mom or your friend should be done by your mom or your friend. It needs to be an adult. The way, again, that the lemon juice turns brown like this way and the message is magically revealed is, first, this has to dry. That's step one. And two, there's a couple ways of adding heat to the message in order to get it to reveal itself, but an adult would need to do that. So one way you can do it is to hold the paper up to an incandescent light bulb and it should reveal itself. And the other way is to use an iron. You need to turn off the steam setting that way, and then maybe place a piece of fabric between the iron and the paper. And dads, this is where you gotta come in and step up. You gotta help out. No kid should do this part by themselves. It does take a while to fully reveal itself. If you don't want your message to turn brown, you ultimately can just use a flashlight, your phone light, and just put it behind it, and the message will reveal itself to your mom. If you don't want it to turn brown, but in order for it to turn brown, you would have to use a heat source. And it did take a while for my iron to heat up, and I did rub it on the paper itself in order for the message to fully turn this brown. But when this dries, though, you still can see the message with just a basic light source behind it. So whichever method the adult that's helping you wants to do is the way you guys are doing it. So I think that your mom should be pretty excited to get something so special for Mother's Day. It is a lot better than a card from CVS. Okay, handmade card is always better and more thoughtful than a purchased card, and it's currently is safer. You can do this from your home with just a couple basic materials, and I encourage you guys to share your results and let me know what your mom thinks, and she's going to be even more impressed if you can explain the science behind invisible ink. So make sure to study up on the oxidation method that causes the ink, your message, to reveal itself to her, and she will be super impressed with you. All right, happy Mother's Day, everyone. Have a little extra lemon juice, just add some water and sugar, and you made yourself some lemonade.